YouTube, how we doing, family? It's your boy, Yo, and this is another episode of Yo Hoops. I go through every NBA game every day. Today's Monday, December 22nd. We have a 7-game NBA card. I'm going to walk you through my thoughts, let you know which sides I like, and stick around, because I'll let you know my highlighted play of the day. I do this every day for free, so please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and let me know your favorite game in the comment section below. Without further ado, let me get into today's recap. Recapping yesterday, I dropped my highlighted play of the day. I took the Houston Rockets laying 12 points in Sacramento against the Sacramento Kings. The Rockets actually looked good through 3 quarters, but they let the Kings go on a crazy fourth quarter run. Dennis Schroeder had 6 assists in the fourth quarter alone, went into straight dimer mode, and they somehow went on a 12-point run to send the game into overtime. Of course, I knew they weren't covering the 12 in OT, but to see them lose it outright definitely surprised me. Final score was 125 to 124, Kings. I let you guys know last week that every Sunday we've seen a ton of upsets, but really I need to learn my lesson. I'm now 15, 11, and 1 on all highlighted plays in December. Let's get right back in that win column tonight. Without further ado, let me get into today's games. In our first matchup, we have the Charlotte Hornets in Cleveland taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Cavs are minus 380 on the money line, and the total is 238.5. The Cavs have really started to show me their true colors this season. They're now 4-13 against the spread at home, by far the worst team in the league, and we just saw them lose to the Hornets outright as double-digit favorites a week ago. Not only was I concerned that they lost that game, but Cleveland scored 0 points in overtime. I watched the game. That's the first time I've ever seen a team get shut out in OT in my entire life. They have no dog in them, and there's no way I'm laying 9 points tonight. Evan Mobley is still out, and Donovan Mitchell is listed as questionable. With LaMelo and most of the guys going, I think they easily keep this one within the number. I'm taking the Hornets plus a 9 as my first selection of the evening. In our next matchup, we have the Indiana Pacers in Boston taking on the Boston Celtics. Celtics are minus 625 on the money line, and the total is 225.5. You guys know I tend to back the Celtics. I feel like they became a little undervalued without Jason Tatum, but tonight, I think they're back to being overvalued. Jaylen Brown and Jordan Walsh are both listed as questionable with an illness. It looks like JB is going to play, but even if he does, he's sick, so he's not going to be at 100%. I do still think the Celtics win this game, but with Indiana getting a few of their guys back, I think they keep it respectable as something like an 8-point loss. I like the tandem of Nembhard, Siakam, and Mathurin. While there's not a whole lot of data backing up Indiana here, I'll lean in their direction. I'm taking the Pacers plus a 12 as my next selection of the evening. In our next matchup, we have the Dallas Mavericks in New Orleans taking on New Orleans Pelicans. Pelicans are minus 115 on the money line, and the total is 240.5. I'm personally not surprised, but ever since getting Zion and Jordan Poole back, the Pelicans have been hooping. They're currently on a 4-game win streak, beating the Blazers, Bulls, Rockets, and Pacers. We saw this same matchup against the Mavericks in Dallas about a month ago on November 21st, and the Mavs won that one 118 to 115. That was before Jordan Poole returned to the lineup, and really before Sadiq Bay started carrying their second unit. So tonight in New Orleans, I think the Pelicans return the favor. Dallas is dealing with a bunch of injuries as usual, including Cooper Flagg being listed as questionable with a back contusion, so they're going to be even more short on ball handlers. Multiple young guys are stepping up for New Orleans, like Jeremiah Fears and Derek Queen. I see the Pels keeping the momentum rolling and stacking their 5th straight win tonight. I'm taking the Pelicans on the money line as my highlighted selection of the evening. In our next matchup, we have the Utah Jazz in Denver taking on the Denver Nuggets. Nuggets are minus 850 on the money line, and the total is 250.5. This is a more even matchup than the line suggests. Salt Lake City is in elevation just like Denver, so there isn't as big of a home court advantage as the Nuggets would have against any other team in the league. They're still without Aaron Gordon, Peyton Watson, and Christian Braun, so we're basically going to see Jamal Murray and Joker against the Jazz. Lauri Markkanen is listed as questionable for Utah, so I do want to know if he goes, but rather than taking aside, I'm looking at a prop. One thing I know is the Joker always has a few tricks up his sleeve. I'm taking Nikola Jokic to go over 29.5 points. With Walker Kessler out for the season, the Jazz have Yusuf Nurkic at the 5. He's not slowing Joker down, and considering he's a Euro big, Jokic usually takes those matchups personally. He's the Nuggets' only consistent scoring threat, and the reason they're laying 13 points. Lock it in. In our next matchup, we have the Memphis Grizzlies in Oklahoma City taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder. Thunder minus 1,300 on the money line, and the total is 230. At first glance, I was going to just hammer OKC and call it a day, but looking further, their injury situation is getting concerning. Jalen Williams, the center, and Isaiah Hartenstein are both ruled out. Now, Chet Holmgren is listed as questionable with back spasms. They basically have no center available, so Triple J should be able to eat on the glass and in the paint. OKC's guards are significantly better than the Grizzlies to the point that I still think they can win this one by margin, but more a game I'll sprinkle on and see how it plays out. I'll lean to the Thunder laying the 15.5 as my next selection of the evening. In our next matchup, we have the Detroit Pistons in Portland taking on the Portland Trailblazers. Pistons are minus 235 on the money line, and the total is 235.5. I have these teams in similar categories, but the Pistons have definitely played the better basketball up to this point in the season. They're currently 22-6, so I'd have a hard time fading them, even if I do like what I've seen from Portland. More of one I'll be watching as a fan, but I do have a play on the total. The Pistons average 119 points per game, while the Blazers average 118, so that would set us around a 237 total, but that's including games against heavily defensive opponents. The Pistons do have one of the better defenses in the league, but the Blazers typically play at a faster pace, giving up points. So in Portland, I see Detroit matching that and getting us over this total. I'm taking the Pistons and Blazers over 235.5 as my next selection of the evening. In our last and final matchup, we have the Orlando Magic in Golden State taking on the Golden State Warriors. Warriors are minus 230 on the money line, and the total is 226.5. The Magic are still significantly banged up coming into this one. Franz Wagner is still ruled out, Jalen Suggs is listed as doubtful, then Tristan Da Silva is listed as questionable. The Warriors are still without Al Horford, but Quentin Post has somewhat been able to fill that role. To put it simply, I'm not high on this Magic team without Franz. I can't see Desmond Bane and Paolo keeping me competitive against Steph and Jimmy in Golden State. The Magic have a solid record on paper, but that hasn't translated to ATS wins, especially on the road. They're currently just 6-7 ATS in this situation. I see the Warriors finally getting the dominant home win. I'm taking the Dubs laying the 6 as my last and final selection. And that's going to conclude today's video. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. 15, 11, and 1 on all highlighted plays in December. Let's finish it out strong and make it our biggest month yet. I appreciate the support so much. I do this every day for free, so please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It's your boy, Yo! And until the next one, I'ma catch y'all. Peace.